Hey, Mike and April, just wanted to put this together. I know we spoke on the call, so I wanted to kind of review and give you something to look at. So, what I wanted to do is I wanted to take your top performing listing, and that is the luxury suit hangers. And what we're seeing is we're doing about $522 a month estimated. That's that tool that I told you guys about, Helium 10, and about 19 units sold for the month. It also gives a really good listing health score if that's something. There is a free trial that you can utilize. It just tells you that there's seven slots for images, kind of like I mentioned earlier, just filling these with more lifestyle images, happy smiling faces, infographics, features and benefits of is something that is a really good idea. But then additionally, if you click on it too, making sure that the title exceeds 150 characters, at least 5 bullet points, description of 1,000 characters or more. The beauty about that is that indexing section. That's where you're going to start indexing for the Amazon algorithm as long as you utilize it in a positive way. And make sure that you're working towards keywords that work really well. And then when you start pairing that with advertising, you'll start seeing a big boost. Same thing, like I mentioned with the bullet points. What I would say is kind of going back to, let's just look at this listing in particular, just because that was the one we had up. They have a 10 score at the moment. So they do have 7 images. They do have a full carousel of lifestyle images, and only one, individual in there, a face in there, but that's still okay. And then they have some pretty keyword rich title, and also 5 bullet points completely fleshed out with some features and benefits of that. What I would say too is the A plus content is something to look at. This is the brand story. As I mentioned, you can have some pretty good opportunity to index using crawlable text. You can also do alt text. Alt text is something you can put additional keywords in. On the back end, you could do misspelled words, you could do Spanish words, things like that, and that will actually convert and utilize the Amazon algorithm as well. You can also put some links to your storefront, maybe a product grid of some other items in your catalog. The A plus content, that just gives a description of the product itself or the brand as a whole. If you have a little bit more that you want to talk about with yourself, just some features and benefits, some product grids in there using some crawlable text, as well as some images is a really good idea, just to establish that you are the real deal. You're a brand that's been around for a long time. But once we dive into the advertising side, I know I told you I'd briefly go over this, but if you look at the advertising section, if we use this ASIN in particular, we go to Cerebro. Cerebro is through Helium 10. That same tool that I was showing is doing about 30,000 or 30-day revenue of about 522, 19 units in sales. This whole thing is Helium 10. Same thing, with this one. So quite a bit more I feel like we can really get on. So as you can see, keyword distribution, that is something that is important. That is how your keywords are being distributed throughout Amazon, throughout the listing in particular. So right now we're at 166 total keywords. We love being that over 1,000 if we can. So what we would probably recommend is a keyword gap analysis. That's going out and finding keywords that are relative to your product and putting advertising budget behind those to increase organic rank. So that is something I would highly recommend you doing. Now, additionally, at the moment, we're about 48 organic, 0 from paid. So we're not really investing in the advertising side. So it's something that can really start benefiting you guys. Now, the word frequency on the right, that is the most important keywords to your product. Once you have an idea of what those are, then you can start putting advertising budget behind those, and now you'll start indexing and actually getting some revenue from those keywords that you're trying to rank for. Now, I did put these in order by search volume. These are highly relative keywords to your specific product. I like hangers, clothes hangers, baby hangers, velvet hangers, so on and so forth. So there's quite a bit in here, really high search volume, but we're not indexing organically or sponsored for any of these. Now, there are a few down here, like 139 organically for suit hangers for men. I find that very relative to your product. The only thing is, it's not anywhere in here, right? So kind of what I was mentioning, it doesn't have to be, but it aids the ability to show up and rank for those keywords. But it's not in here. So that is something that we can continue to add. But if you go into that keyword, What you see is Suit Hangers for Men is doing about $11.6 million a month in revenue. So quite a lot of room for upward movement. And I would say that, only a few really kind of own, a big portion, but there's a lot that are in the six figures, all the way down and even into the five figures. So I wanted to pick one that was in, that $60,000, what I looked at. And it's a close price point to you guys, and also very relative. And they're doing about $60,000 a month just for that product. Now, this is where the cool thing is. Once you can dive into the same thing that we just did for your listing, we can do to theirs. So we're dissecting their listing. As mentioned, there are about 1,700 total keywords, 1,200 organic, about 548 coming from paid. We love seeing about a 2-to-1 to a 3-to-1 organic to paid ratio. That's the golden keyword ratio. That's where we see the most opportunity for scale and growth, but doing it in a profitable manner. But what you can see is there are a lot of keywords: single hanger, suit hanger, single, suit hangers, wood, suit hanger, suit jacket hanger. They're ranking 1, 2, 3, 4, organically. That means they're showing up for those search terms on page one, in the number one slot, in the number two slot, in the number three slot. So that's where some of their revenue is coming from, because they're ranking for some of those keywords that are highly relative to the product. So definitely something that we can look at a little bit later on down the road, as far as the advertising goes. But I do believe the smartest thing to do is to put the most of the budget that we can towards revamping the listings. So when you do finally pay to send traffic, using ads like these, on the listings, then you have a much higher ability to convert. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I look forward to speaking with you guys soon.